Hello. This is a video that I think a lot of people have reached out to me, is wondering if I miss the Netherlands. Do I miss living in the Netherlands? So a little bit of background about me. I lived in the Netherlands for about 2 years. I've, you know, I worked there. I did groceries there. I loved someone there. I partied there. I saw tons of museums there. I've actually considered in the whole process of even buying a place there and potentially, you know, getting a Dutch passport. I had a great time there. And it has been exactly 10 months since I stepped foot in the Netherlands, and I want to talk about it. And the reason why I want to talk about it is because of the DMs, the comments I get on my YouTube, and I still get a lot of views on my Netherlands videos, and people are just very curious on my update. So here I am just trying to explain it all. So, short answer, if you only want to be here for a few minutes, is that there are a lot of things that I miss about the Netherlands, but there's also a lot of things that I did not miss about the Netherlands. And I'm comparing from my experience of going back to the US and living in the Netherlands. Because if you do know me, I kind of was on the DAF visa, which is allowing US citizens to live in the US for 2 years, and it could be extended longer and indefinitely, with the idea that you are your own worker. So, do I ever plan on visiting the Netherlands again? The answer is yes. Like next time I'm there for work or traveling, I'm definitely gonna make a stop in Groningen, because even my time there, I saw Groningen change itself so much that I'm so curious of coming back, let's say next year or next fall, not this upcoming fall, but next year fall, what has happened, what has changed. And I want to make a note that it's actually one of the countries where I would love to visit again. There are many countries that I was very fortunate enough to visit this past year and my entire life that, like I'm not interested in going back again. So let's start by talking about things that I miss about the Netherlands. Something that I miss is how everything is so close by walking or by biking, or by the tram or the metro or the bus. I could go to different countries really easily, because of how amazing the public transportation is, which kind of goes with number two. I miss how good public transportation is. I live in a city right now where the transportation is one of the best, but really nothing can beat the Netherlands. Though the Netherlands was not really cheap, it was accessible. Like if I want to go to a different part of the Netherlands, I can with a train. Like I'm not obligated to rent a car and drive, versus in the States is mostly driven first. Like the train will just stop at some point and you're kind of on your own on getting there. But I don't miss how expensive it was to travel. But the Netherlands had many ways to reduce your chances, or like get a reduced fare for a lot of locals compared to tourists. So yeah. Number three, I miss Bitterballen. I miss Fable. I miss the freaking things that you can pull out late at night. I miss Airball in Groningen. I miss the class. I miss Albert Heijn, Jumbo, like the whole grocery culture. Because here, I feel like when I'm in the States, when I go grocery shopping, I have to get a lot, and that has to last for the whole week. Because groceries and food desert exists here. Some places don't have access to groceries or healthy foods, but they have access to fast food restaurants. Versus there, every corner or within every block, there is a grocery store that is affordable and comparable to some prices. And for me, I was so a budget discounting girly that I would go to different stores every single day to get certain groceries because it's cheaper in Albert Heijn or cheaper in Jumbo. and no one makes fun of me, and no one cares because it was so normal to carry a big grocery bag going around and doing grocery stuff. So yeah, but I do miss the late night foods, that fried food that are on the corner. Yeah, like I need to get back and get some bitterballen. And I know certain countries that are closer to the US that has it. So next time I'm there, I'm definitely gonna try to bring them back home. But if not, I'm just gonna eat my heart out there. Yeah. Something now I'm gonna name something that I really don't miss and was one of the defying factors on my decision on leaving. You know, which is I do not miss the weather.
And no news of pain. Okay, well, what a lot of people are talking about this morning is the return of David Cameron. And I wonder what your
Depression really got to me. It rained too much. Like it rained like 80% of the time I was there. It rains in the summer. It rains in the winter. It rains in the spring. Yes, in the winter, you don't get as much snow as the Northeast where I'm from, but there's still snow. And biking in the snow is not as fun as in a car here. So driving in a car here. So there's something that I don't really miss the weather, really, and something I actually detested so much that it made me really think about it. Um, when I had to decide if I wanted to move to a different part, you know, there was moments in my life where I've considered moving to Amsterdam. You know, I live in Groningen, but moving closer to the city that has more opportunities and things like that. Even then, I was just like, it still rains. Like there was moss everywhere. There was slugs everywhere because that's slugs love wet things. I remember there was slugs coming into our house, which was it was crazy. I don't miss that. So yeah. Another thing I do miss is some of my friends and the people I met in my life. Like I miss the board games night. I miss us going out to the carnival or a club and I have to acknowledge and had to come with the fact that there are some people I've met that I will never see them again. And because some of them I met them and they're just studies and you know they're not from here there and I'm not from there, so it's like kind of like you know bittersweet in that we're just gonna be at the end of the day just Instagram friends. Something that I don't miss that I've noticed in the US that has been so much better, okay, no offense, is the housing crisis. And this is going from renting and buying. I was spending almost a whole year, like 6 months, looking to buy a place in the Netherlands. And it was so insane. Like what was in my budget would be like so crazy. And crazy in that if there's a viewing, it would be only a weekend and you would only have a week, a few days after the viewing to make an offer. And then people are overbidding the asking price by 20,000, even 50,000, even 100,000 more. And that place is not worth that much because that value in certain countries could get you a beach like view place. So it's just something to keep in mind about that. I did not miss that. I did not miss how competitive the rental market is and the astronomical pricing for renting there. That's not including water, not including electricity, not including furniture. It's just crazy. And because I was a US citizen, I didn't really qualify for social housing, which is a backlog of that according to my ex's family. So and in such a housing crisis that people are willing to pay so much more to get just to have a Netherlands address. So I just didn't think that was nice to have, and I don't think they will ever fix that problem. I remember in Groningen they're building a lot of newer buildings and like selling them before they've been built, but that would take like years and months. So yeah, I did not miss the housing crisis. I in the whole housing culture was just like not my thing as well. And this is me comparing to the US. um I got to work at a couple states and I see a lot of buildings being developed, like rental apartments. Yes, there's more of the culture of like these are owned by property management or angel funds or hedge funds. Meaning, for people who don't know that what that meant, is like it's owned by a company. It's not owned by a person. Versus in the Netherlands, most of these apartments or houses being sold are owned by somebody. So there's more of like a connection to the place, um, or a renting to the place. So there's a difference of that. That's a whole different thing. But it's just there's more opportunity to live somewhere here compared to the Netherlands, because I didn't want to be homeless or live in a tent or like a studio and pay like thousands of dollars. It's just not worth it. So yeah, that's why I remember I made that decision. I was like, I can't live hotel to hotel, so I could potentially find an apartment to rent so I can do this whole 1 year, 6 month war on an apartment. And I do not want to be house poor. So yeah, something that I do miss also is the nightlife. There I could go out and walk, and there's so many nightlife things, like especially for a queer person. You know, there might be a queer bar, a queer club, a queer sex club, a drag show. Like there's just so many options, and they're all walkable distance from each other. Versus even in Boston, and I think even in all states that I've been and visited, they're in like strips of area, and then that's it. Versus I feel like in the Netherlands, everything was more like embedded. There is a place where there's a lot of it, like Regelstraat, I think, in Amsterdam, and in Groningen, like I think in New Ebenstraat, there's a lot of queer stuff there. But I just miss that it opened late. I could go and have a fun time here, and everyone's a fun time. It's such a fun time there. Like it's something I miss. Like I will be back. I miss that people would like to talk to you at the club. Like versus here, if I go to a club by myself, I'm talking even in New York City, um, and especially in Boston, like no one's really trying to be friends with you. Like no one's trying to talk. But in Groningen, especially like the drag place, like people are so eager to talk. From the bartender to the people coming, to the drag queen, is just that's something I remember vividly and I will miss about in Groningen. So yeah. And yeah, I miss the prices of drinks. I miss that after I drink, I can go to the vending machine, pay 2-3 euros, and I can get a bitterballen, croquette, patat frites. There's just so much things. I miss that nightlife. Versus here, I go out after 2 and I'm hungry and McDonald's closed. Like I got nothing. I gotta go home and snack on something. So yeah, things like that. And lastly, something that I miss, which is super obvious, is that I miss practicing Dutch. Before, I could practice Dutch from my textbooks and from my like the Green Owl, and from Babbel, and really practice it in person. You know, like I'm not gonna go here and say like, you know, Weltrusten or Goedemorgen or um, ik weet niet or nee or, you know, yeah. Like it's just all those little things. Like it's just not that, because that's not the language here. Here I'm just speaking English, and here a lot of people only know English. So like I miss being able to practice Dutch, when it goes to the from going to the action or reading the signs at the museums, just being immersed with it. And everyone knows the best way to learn a language is being immersed in a country that practices that language. So I miss that so much. So right now what I'm doing is just I'm doing Babbel still, and I'm still doing Duolingo. I'm still reading my books, but it would be nice to practice Dutch. So maybe I should look into programs or like communities here that are Dutch, but we'll figure about that. So yeah, it's been a long video, and I gotta say that, as you can tell, there's a lot of things I miss about the Netherlands. Um, I have to remember that I was happy there, but I was also not happy there, and I was not thriving there. But ultimately, I learned so much while living in the Netherlands. So the question that a lot of people ask me is, do I see myself coming back to the Netherlands? And the honest answer is no. I don't think I'll ever move back to the Netherlands. Something that I confirmed is that, my support system is not there. And my support system's in the US. Surprisingly, my support system's also in Paris, they're not there. And it's not worth it, like, I need to go to a place where I feel my support system's there. And I also have to remember I struggled so much there, and oh my god, I hate the weather. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know I got a lot of DMs about this, and yeah. Bye everyone.